Well, that was a fantastic touch from Tora Tumeth. She called for the penalty, but I think the defender just got a foot to it. But that's what you want, especially in that front third. I just seen that there wasn't enough players in the box if she had stayed on her feet.
Oh, ball into the air, a neat one. Oh, comes off the head of Jenna McCormick. Looked so very close. Seen her do that before, haven't we?
For me, she needs to bury that. She gets herself into a really great position. It was a beautifully swung-in ball. All she had to do was sort of put it on target. She was only a metre out.
Strikers are always so critical, aren't you?
I'm only speaking from my own experience. I would have buried that.
Like you would have had that height. No, 100% it is. And what you say, I mean, even though Jenna McCormick, of course, is defender, you mentioned Chinatsu Kira, a striker, spent so many years with Ora Red Diamonds. Such a strong part of the Japanese setup as Emma Checker manages to run down that ball, beating Lauren Allen. But, yeah, frustrating for Kira. Goal drought's never nice for a striker. She's running out of weeks to actually bury the ball in the back of the net. Tamplin's throw. Gathers again, Tessa Tamplin. Davis. Oh, and it's there for Newcastle. And there we have the opening goal. It is the visitors on first. Wow. Then called back and is that offside, Arch?
Yeah, I think it was, but what beautiful lead-up play. Laura Allen, what a wonderful ball that was in. Just hit a space, and it was beautifully attacked. I don't know who it was. I think it was Tara Andrews there, but okay, it was an offside, but still the finish was exactly what you want.
Yeah, look good from this angle. Of course, we don't have the same view as the lines people.
And also, too, we don't have VAR, but I guess sometimes that's probably a good thing. Now
McCormick again. Gorgeous day here in Melbourne. I can tell you, Archie, when I left Sydney, it was absolutely bucketing rain, but it's a stunning afternoon here in Cheltenham, which side of Melbourne are we?
Oh, now you're asking the wrong person. I only know my beautiful suburb of Yarraville, so...
Which you tell me is the nicest suburb in Australia, did you claim?
It could be World.
I'll leave that with you. Kira slides the ball through, could be on for Chidiac. Well, Brewer manages to control. Lovely defence, Hannah Brewer.
And this is what Kira does really well. I know she hasn't scored goals, but she has such great touches and brings other players into play. But I just probably would have liked to see a bit more selfish in situations like that too, because she does give herself a half a yard around those areas. Just pull the trigger sometimes.
Oh, great work from Kira. Taking it off Tessa Tamplin now. It's Davidson through to Chidiac. Chance for Alex Chidiac. Tries to cut back. Hannah Brewer once again interfering in that passage of play. Well, Brewer's been there every step of the way thus far in these opening minutes.
Well, Dobson picks up a beautiful spot. She's had a real impact already in this first half. And Chidiac makes a beautiful run across the box. Almost felt like she could have just swung and hit it the first time, but takes a touch, and it was beautiful defending by Brewer.
By Kira, lands on the near side, front of the near post. Cries from Claire Qualo in the Newcastle goal. Vlanic picking up the Japanese international again. Tries to hook it round for Dobson. Oh, neat work from Policina to Allen. Tara Andrews, just beyond the run of Policina. All right, Archie, she really has come on. 2 goals in her 9 appearances this season.
Yeah, beautiful one-touch football. A heavy pass from Tara Andrews. Policina's probably not the quickest of players. She probably more wants the ball to feet, but just from the corner kick there before, you could see that Melbourne City are targeting that near post with Gemma McCormick. And she almost got another touch there.
Yeah, a little bit high, because we know that McCormick can leap. of the players on this pitch. Thomas Chinawa playing dangerously with the ball in front of the Newcastle goal, and it's slipped through, but can't connect with her striker.
So Naomi Chinatsu is obviously a young player, still learning a trade. She's only 16. I know it's almost been a baptism of fire for her the last couple of games, thrown in, especially in that position where she's at. But she's got experienced players around her. I probably feel like, just watching a couple of the games, that there probably just needs to be a bit more instructions, a lot more talk to her, more experienced players for her, because, you know, being so young in a key position, you want to have that sort of leadership. But you can see a quality there with that pass.
Absolutely right. Tolajay Vlanic now. Harmlessly through to Coelho. Yeah, Thomas Chinawa, one of the 16-year-olds. There's a number of them, isn't there, in this league this season? We saw Jessica Nash just last week in the back line for Canberra, and that's what has been the opportunity of this W League season. And when we look at this Melbourne City side, Emma Checker, the only one remaining from that starting side last season, as Chinawa charges, beg your pardon, Kira. Chinatsu Kira charges forward. And it's been a wonderful chance for the youngsters to come through as Melbourne City mounts another attack. Well, that Newcastle backline has certainly held strong so far in this this battle. Sunny Franco on the far side had a double last week. One that we've seen at, well, I remember her starting her career at Brisbane Roar, also been at Sydney, at Western Sydney Wanderers, and doing well here for Newcastle. Oh, nice from Dobson. Chidiac charging forward. Kira's there. Again, potentially was hoping that they could have had that one back again, and Noah Eckhoff, the intervention, the tall Norwegian midfielder, came into the City side in the middle of January for the end of the season, using a height well there. Junior international for her native Norway, 60 appearances in the top serien. Not the best pass back to Claire Coelho.
Yeah, just plays herself into trouble there. Probably could have turned out and just lumped along. I know that sometimes you want to keep possession and play football, but there's a time and a place, and I just felt like that was probably a dangerous ball to be played back. Unfortunately, they put themselves under pressure again.
Kira again to deliver. This time it's flat. You're right, they are going for that near post, but she's definitely not finding the target.
I guess when you try to hit an area all the time, it is difficult because it needs to be pinpoint. I know in corners sometimes it's just easier to put it in an area and just have players attack, but obviously they've seen a weakness with Newcastle, and that's why they're probably targeting that spot. And like I said, Jenna McCormick is so strong in the air and has that presence.
Hard to believe, Archie, these sides were at complete opposite ends of the table last season. I look at the speed on Dobson, but she can't outrun Taryn King on that occasion. Newcastle finished last season on bottom. City undefeated, 13 wins on the trot after these two sides met. And in fact, Newcastle is yet to beat City. They've had one draw in the 9 meetings, and that draw was last season. So extraordinary the way it finished. They were the only ones to really hold City to that scoreline, and that was an all-star cast. This City Blue side has changed an awful lot.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to mention too, because when you think of the players that have left, Carpenter, Simon, I mean, that's just to name a few. But with Newcastle, they've had to sort of dive into their own backyard, and that's great. I feel like it's important to look in your own backyard to find these youngsters, breed them up, because it's almost like they've got a bit of the DNA in them with the area that they're growing up, especially in Newcastle. I know that they've had to kind of maybe go to Sydney a little bit too, but they're starting to play some really great football.
Ball up from Tamplin. We've seen her score one from there before. She didn't quite realise at the time. It was an extraordinary goal from last season, but Yeah, City, as we approach the 15-minute mark, City still goalless, and that's, well, 301 minutes now, or 302 maybe, without scoring. 5 hours of football without putting a goal in the back of the net, and that's not something that we've said about Melbourne City since their inception. Been a struggle for this side so far in this 2020-2021 season. Defending premiers still, but that will potentially change perhaps as early as this weekend should Sydney FC win their clash against Melbourne Victory.
That was a really impressive little phase there from Naomi Chinnerman. Like I said, she is young, but every game that I see her playing, she's starting to really develop, have that confidence. The way that she was stroking that ball around, looking for players' feet, and really accurate with her passes. So she's really exciting. I know she's quite young and still developing her game. I know, again, she's really raw in this professional setup. So, again, it's just about the leaders showing her the way to play.
100%, and it's one of those leaders. Kira charging forward. Dobson. Goes out wide for City from Eckhoff. Here is Chinoa. Now Checker. Looking for options. Rebounds, unfortunately, Riley Dobson couldn't control. Checker back in the fray. Cassidy Davis. How's that for a stat, Archie? 95 consecutive games. That's pretty much almost unheard of.
Well, that's really impressive. I think the record...
Mariana Tabane, yeah, 97, so 96.
Really impressive.
Kira again, asking a lot of Tumeth. Tori Tumeth started her career in Sydney as a junior, Canterbury Juniors. Now with Melbourne City, who have had such an all-star start to their W League history. How tough is it, Archie, when you know that finals are out of reach? How hard is it to get yourself up for these last few games of the season? We've got a few players on the park today who would be hoping to catch the eye of Tony Gustafsson, so they really need to keep performing on that level as well. Yeah,
there's still a lot to be had. I know that they can't make finals, but there's so much more football to be played when it comes to international level. I know that even the Olympic Games is just around the corner too. So it's important for these players that can't make finals to still just make sure that they know that they're there.
Absolutely. Well, they've got to stay in the frame, don't they? Because sometimes it's tougher when you drop your heads, but they're still looking lively. Melbourne City. Now Chidiac. Still Chidiac asking for support. Gets it from Vlanic. To Checker. Eckhoff. Good pressure from the Newcastle Jets. Oh, that's a nice ball from Eckhoff. Find Vlanic in acres of space on the near flank. Outstretched leg of Chidiac. Eckhoff again. Oh, looked up at goal. Opted for safety. Patient build-up. Nice from Vlanic. Manages to get past Tessa Tamplin, but Tamplin comes back and intervenes. Tenacious defending from the Jets. They get their reward.
Well, Melbourne City had a real opportunity there with Chidiac. She got the ball played into her feet. She decided to turn back, and she had an opportunity to even play Kira in behind, and that almost stopped the play. And Eckhoff is not that type of player to be able to spray balls and look for long balls in behind. She's more of that type of player that likes to play balls to feet. So I think in those opportunities when Chidiac gets a half turn, she should look to go forward and maybe not bring out the ball back out.
Simon back to Davis. Policina bundled over.
And I know that we're talking about, obviously, the national team, Olympics, but also, too, there might be players that contracts are up. And again, it's just an opportunity to show their hunger for the maybe next year. Because I was even speaking with Dean Heffernan with the Western Sydney Wanderers, is that because they're starting to find form, they're all on sort of one-year contracts. So
yeah, it's pretty rare for a W League team to have players contracted beyond the end of the season. So you're absolutely right, Archie. They're looking into next season as well.
I've got to play my cards right because I'm on a one-year contract with Fox too.
Fired up over the top for the Jets. Andrews was there, tries to stoop down low. Tomorrow Vale will be Melissa Barbieri that starts things off for Melbourne City again. Archie, in these COVID times, we're all on one-year contracts.
It was a beautiful ball in behind. Tara Andrews tries to go back post. Newcastle Jets players were asking for the penalty because there was a little bit of a shove. I wouldn't say a shove, maybe a little shirt pull from Emma Checker, but no penalty for me there.
Jonathan Davidson in the middle of the park. Now Checker. What a space for Vlanic down this wing. Tamplin's quick though. And Kira, nice control. Vlanic again, cuts back well over the top of Chidiac as well. It's Tumith now for City. Dobson cuts back inside, easily dealt with by Brewer. Chinoa can't pull it in.
Beautiful play from Melbourne City, especially out in those wide areas. They make smart little runs in behind. Dobson again, just using her pace, finding half a yard. Not many players from Melbourne City in the box though, just trying to attack the near post. But with obviously TJ Vlanic out here, I'd probably like to see her push a bit higher because, like you say, she's got acres of space, but she's just collecting the ball maybe on the halfway line where she could probably reach it a little bit further.
What do you think of the setup? It's really, it's kind of a, yeah, it's a back five with two wing backs, isn't it? But Vlanic being asked to do a lot of running. She's certainly capable, but yeah, do you think she'd be better employed further up the park?
Well, look, I think when you got the back five, or what to say, the three there.
Three with the wings.
Yeah, I'd be Emma Checker. If you're not marking anyone, just push her on, and just knowing that if the ball does get played in behind, you're there to back her up. But if I was her, just even Emma Checker, I'd be saying push up a little bit further because there's a space just to attack.
Barbieri, second appearance for City this season. So good to see her back on the park.
Well, this distribution, I find is fantastic, especially when you haven't played much football. I think it was 4 years or something since she made an appearance in the W League. When she started for that Western Sydney team. Against Western Sydney, sorry.
Well, could be on here for Tara Andrews. And the intervention from Jenna McCormick, who's copped a heavy knock. Calling for attention. Might try and get another look at that one. Tara Andrews looked in a good position there, but a heavy collision with the Melbourne City defender.
Well, they just give up easy possession there. I think it was Allen that played a beautiful ball in, and it needed to be a last-ditch challenge there from Gemma McCormick. She just hit the ground hard. But it was a beautiful challenge because I tell you what, that strike was going goal-bound.
Indeed it was. McCormick still down, looking like she's in a great deal of pain.
It's almost like she winded herself as she hit the ground because she didn't have her hands to sort of brace herself when she made that challenge.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether there was, I was wondering whether it was Tara Andrews' boot that connected with her knee. And then, McCormick going headfirst into the turf. Sincerely hope it's not too serious. She's definitely one of the ones we were talking about in Olympic contention.
Yeah, she seems to be in a little bit of distress.
It's See if we can have another look at that. Any ideas, Arch?
No, I haven't seen enough CSI to be able to dissect anything there. I know
we've 17 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, and I still can't tell you. Well, she's getting attention on the knee, though.
Well, have you got Horatio's number? Because he can certainly help in these situations. But I think the added bonus, I guess, if you want to see a positive out of this, is you can go to the bench and ask for Sam Johnson to warm up, because she's a fantastic player. I've seen the substitution that was made last Thursday from Radio Vizicic to have her come on, and immediately she just added that stability. She's a talker, she's a leader in the back line.
Yeah, a lot of experience in Sam Johnson, who I imagine just looking over at the Melbourne City bench. They'll be on tenterhooks, but we certainly don't want to see a serious problem for Jenna McCormick. The City side has already lost, Tegan Micah's out with a knee injury, Chelsea Blissett an ACL, Sophia Sakalis an ACL, and of course Harriet Withers, another one out with an ankle injury. Really hoping for Jenna McCormick. This is not a serious problem, but it really is not looking too great, and one suspects that she might be leaving the game. The Checkers just had some instructions from the bench.
Well, they're not sort of signalling to the bench just yet whether she's going to come off or not.
No, we'll keep you updated on that as Newcastle take the corner that resulted from that play. Lovely intervention from Leah Davidson.
I just thought that she was probably a little bit slow to get out there. I mean, there was enough time to be able to deliver a ball, but she did well to make that mistake from not going out there earlier.
Simon again opts to go to the back post. Plenty of leaping bodies, and Andrews was again one of them. Barbieri will start again. I can tell you that McCormick is still on the other side of the goal line, still getting some treatment. She's gingerly been testing that knee. She's trotting off back towards the subs bench, so with any luck we'll see her resume her spot in this game, and that would be great news indeed. Well, first time these two sides have played at Kingston Heath. In fact, Archie, it's the first time Melbourne City has played here. Victory's been here a few times. Why is that?
Look, I don't know.
You don't do the scheduling?
No, I just rock up and do what I have to do. But look, it's fantastic facilities. I know with Bentley Greens play their football here out of the NPL.
Yeah, we've seen it in the FFA Cup a number of times.
Yeah, and they've had huge success here. And the playing conditions fantastic. I think for Newcastle, they just probably need to get hold of the ball a little bit. The wind is actually favouring them going down, and that's sometimes it can be difficult to play football when you are obviously got the wind in your back, but then you get yourself in the good positions. You could probably try and have an attack on goal, or at least pull the trigger in situations, because the wind certainly helps.
Indeed. We just saw a lovely little through ball there from Chloe O'Brien, another one that's come along really well, Manly Vale Junior. 4 seasons at the Wanderers, and now with the Jets, as we see Jenna McCormick resume her role. Great news. Hopefully nothing ongoing from that tumble. So full complement back on the park. We're approaching the half-hour mark. Still 0-0 here at Kingston Heath as Chidiac streams down the centre of the pitch. Is it out for Riley Dobson? Hooks it back in for Kira. Just beyond the Japanese striker. As always, Archie, the thought is there. It's that final touch.
Well, it was beautiful pressure to win that ball back, and Chidiac, this is what I wanted to do more, is that when she gets that half turn, just to attack the space. It was a beautiful pass out to Dobson. I seen Kira making that late run into the box. I felt like if she maybe had to put the pedal down a little bit earlier when she saw that breaking, that she could have been at that back post, but great signs for Melbourne City.
Throw, chance for City to mount another attack, but Cassidy Davis has other ideas. Now McCormick, whistle's gone. A number of regulars in this Newcastle side. Ash Wilson has done a great job with them. You mentioned the youth that come through this side. Of course, they've had that Emerging Jets program for a number of years and so good at developing players from their own community. Tara Andrews, a fantastic example of that with the Jets. But a number of them have might have had short stints away, but we've seen them in Jets colours for a long time, and it's lovely for Lauren Allen. Still Allen for Newcastle, hooks it back inside, and look at that from Melissa Barbieri. And those sorts of saves, that really belies her stature, the way she just reaches up and plucks those out.
She's so great in those areas, but it was a beautiful pass out wide to almost let Allen break. It had to be the perfect way to pass because we know that that wind is coming down that way. But yeah, she's so dominant in that 18-yard box, and 40 years old, I think, or 41.
41, yeah.
41.
She's young.
She probably hates me saying that on, national TV.
Sorry,
but
she's still younger than us.
Oldest player in the W League, but for me, she's still one of the best keepers.
Yeah, seriously. In fact, I was having a chat I was watching a match yesterday with Tommy Samani, who just mentioned how good she still is. You'd never, I suppose as a goalkeeper, the age is less of a thing, isn't it? You don't really, and we've seen that over the years with the guys as well, but with Bubs, you can just see why she dominated that position for the Matildas for just so long.
Well, you just see her presence on the bench. I know that she hasn't played much football, but, the matches that have been at Melbourne City, she's so vocal, and that's what you want from your players that aren't playing. That just shows her passion, and that almost like if she gets the opportunity, she's grateful and she'll take it, but she's more than happy for players around her to succeed, and that's what I love about her, because she's always so loud, even when they're starting games, even when they come out from halftime breaks. She's the first one to obviously get them going, so she's fantastic, even when she's not playing.
Exactly. Well, she's been doing some coaching as well, and staying very much involved in the game. She's one of those Matildas that made a number of sacrifices. Of course, parenthood, given a chance back at Adelaide to resume a W League career after a long stint with, Victory, and she's been at Newcastle as well. And just so wonderful to have her in and around the game, and very good role model for those players coming through now.
Well, the more involvement I have with the W League and I watch the girls and hear their stories, it's just amazing the sacrifices that these players have to make. I know with the men's game that a lot of things get handed to them. With the women's game, they have to work ever so hard, and the effort they put out on the pitch each week, it's just a testament to them. And and the football team, it shows. It's improving every year.
Certainly is, and apt comments, Archie, at the conclusion of Football Australia's Female Football Week. And great job from everyone involved in the W League. Of course, COVID's made football in general a struggle in this country. You mentioned Perth, and they've still got quite a number of games in hand just due to those border closures. In fact, I think all the games are against either Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City, which shows you what an impact those closures had. But tell you what, the players have definitely not lost their passion, and both these sides would dearly love 3 points today. Physical smarts from Emma Checker. Muscles Allen off the ball. 10 minutes or so remaining in his first half, with a handy few added on, I would imagine, due to that injury time. Nice for McCormick, running freely again.
You could almost see Chidiac there signalling to Blanich just to be a little bit higher I know she came a little bit narrow when the ball was up here, that there was enough space to just drift out wide, but...
Look at Gemma Simon through to Tara Andrews. It was neatly intercepted by Simon back in her own half. Oh, and there's a handy shot. Could have picked up the win, but didn't trouble Barbieri.
And again, that's what I was talking about. You just get a half a yard. I know that was probably a little bit far out, but Policina, she's got so much confidence now. She's got 2 goals in 3 matches. You want to be, you know, when you do have that confidence, you think you can, anything you touch is gold. So you can see that, you know, she has the intent, and that's what you want. You want your players to have that confidence in those positions.
Shadu Policina again trying to challenge McCormick. Tumeth now.
And this is what Newcastle did really well against Perth away, is that they didn't allow them to play in that back line. The pressure that was on the ball, it's only been in spells in this match, but it was so evident in the game against Perth that they were relentless and they won a lot of balls, and that's why the scoreline was 4-0. I just think they need to do a little bit better. But, you know, in Melbourne City, that's what probably one part of the game I felt in the last few weeks has been disappointing, the way that they play out of the back. But today they've actually really started well.
Yeah, very brightly indeed. Eckhoff trying to find Tumeth, but easily dealt with by Newcastle. Policina back to Simon. And Brewer, it's a duo we've seen for many years at the Newcastle Jets in their defensive lineup. Andrews bundled over.
Probably would have liked to have seen the Melbourne City team push up in that situation when that ball was played back. They just seem to be sitting a little bit deep. And with the wind, the ball almost kind of runs through to Melissa Barbieri if they do look to play it. But just, I feel like they just need to keep it a little bit more compact.
Delivery from Gemma Simon comes off Tara Andrews' head. Then Barbieri not troubled. She's seen Kira flying up the left, off for Checker. Now Kira splits the Jets' opposition. Eckhoff twice in a row now.
Well, I did mention that probably not one of her strengths of her game is a long ball. But someone in that key position, for her, it's probably just mopping up and keeping it simple. But for me there, it's, yeah, but it's important, I guess, that you need to play the ball and stretch the game. Just with that free kick, that was really impressive from Tara Andrew, just to cushion that ball into Allen, because that ball was played with pace. You almost felt that if it just was that little bit less, that Allen probably could get a strike off.
You can see Tara Andrews, another one that's hungry for a goal. Started the season very brightly indeed. Newcastle have had 45% of the possession so far in this match, as it's hooked back. Checker flicks it out. Doesn't go far. Tamplin back into Davis, and oh, look at that from Chidiac. She's bowled over by Davis. No foul, says Libri. Tamplin again. Oh, look at that ball. Could have caught the wind and been tricky for Bubs to deal with. But as you mentioned, very, very safe pair of hands in this City goal thus far.
I was just talking about Melbourne City playing out the back a lot better, and they just give up easy possession there. Chidiac did really well in that situation just to win that ball, but I thought that was a foul. Just pushed in the back, but the referee didn't see that.
Alex Chidiac back from Atletico Madrid. Spent the first couple of weeks of this season in isolation. Another wasteful ball from Melbourne City. Chidiac ever busy. Another one like Emma Checker started their careers at Adelaide United, crossed the border. been in City Blue for a couple of seasons now. Only tasted success. This is a rare experience to be lower down on the table. And they can certainly 9 points up for grabs still for these sides. Still a chance, as Riley Dobson says, like to make a difference before the halftime whistle. Still Dobson. Tumeth charging forward. Tries to slide it in. Oh, just out of the reach of Kira. Wouldn't that have been a spectacular goal just 5 minutes before the end of regular time in this first half? That's better from City.
That was a beautiful break. Kira just plays it out to Dobson. Dobson almost sizes up the defender, cuts inside. Felt like the play had almost stopped, but Tumeth made, again, another beautiful run out wide, and that pass, just to get behind the player and get across. Kira just caught a little bit flat on her feet, but there was so much pace, it would have been difficult to get on the end of it.
Yeah, better stuff from Melbourne City this week. Vlanic. Still Vlanic, she's got support there. Kira nips in. Eckhoff this time does find the target, but Giniak can't control. I beg your pardon, Tumeth, the same long dark ponytails. Bit of a height difference when they're next to each other. This time it is Tumeth. Over to the back. Oh, it's palmed down. Has that one gone in? And it is Melbourne City that are celebrating. Well, it had a few ricochets. It's deemed to have crossed the line. And that is a goal for the home side. Finally, after, well, 5.5 hours without a goal, it is Chinatsu Kira with her first goal for Melbourne City. Congratulations to the Japanese international. Well, it's been a long time coming. 9 appearances, her first goal in the W League.
I can tell you what, Kira was so delighted. It was a beautiful ball by Tumeth to the back post. Keeper just couldn't judge the speed of the ball. And a wonderful touch from Kira. I don't know if she saw too much of it. It was like almost like a back heel. It was a wonderful finish. And she was the first one to go over to Tori Tumeth, because it was her first goal of the season. She actually probably said to her, I'm going to buy you dinner or lunch all week for that, because it's a monkey off the back for her.
Certainly is. Well done, Kira. Well, there you go. Archie, you mentioned at the beginning of the game that she'd be looking to break that duck. Done and dusted, and she'll be hungry for more now as Melbourne City go on the attack again. Allen tries to tap it on, doesn't have a teammate at the ready. Emma Checker was there. Oh, Checker down. Oh dear. Melbourne City captain down. Oh, there wasn't any contact. That doesn't look good. We know she had a lot of problems with her feet, a stress fracture in her foot.
Yeah, I just think that Laura Allen just came across her, took a swipe at her foot there. Yeah, they never feel good, I'll tell you that. She's up on her feet.
Made it tough stuff, Emma Checker. Ready to go again. Still looks like she's feeling it a little. She's only got a couple of minutes, plus whatever time's added on. Give Melbourne City a lot of confidence having that 1-goal cushion. So we mentioned at the beginning that yeah, just before the quarter-hour mark, it was 5 hours without a goal for City, and after a while you just wonder where they're going to come from, especially after you've taken that 4-0 drubbing during the week only a couple of days ago. Looking in much brighter form today.
Yeah, I think the inclusion of Dobson has definitely had an effect in that front third. It's funny when you just add a little bit of pace and a bit of directness, someone that makes smart runs, and you can just open up the defence. and Chidiak starting to get more involved in the game. She's such a delight to watch on the ball because she's got great touches, but she's also creative. If anything I could say is that I would like to see her turn and maybe face forward a bit more.
Kira's delivery will be on the back post, headed down by McCormick, cleared by Davis. And we're hearing that there'll be 3 extra minutes in this half. Oh, Melbourne City the goal ahead, but what do you think Ash Wilson will have to say during the halftime break? Archie, there's been some solid defending from her side.
Yeah, probably just to have a bit more confidence. They're not out of this game at all. I know that it might be a little bit better for them to go against the wind because they've got speed out wide, and maybe just having it against the wind, you can play those balls a little bit more directly into the back line.
Ball over the top from Simon, and Melissa Barbieri comes out to cut off that form of attack. She'd spotted Lauren Allen on the near side. Back with Simon headed forward. It'll be Tumeth that trots down to gather.
Well, you just sort of see that experience from Melissa Barbieri. Kira made a run out wide. She looked like she was going to throw it, but she actually pointed to her wrist saying, look, we don't need to give up possession here. There's only a couple of minutes before the halftime break.
Thomas Chinoa to Tumeth, now McCormick. Checker to Vlanic. Vlanic gets rid of it quickly to Kira. And the goal scorer bundled off by Taryn King. Good defending from King. Checker smartly lets the ball run away. Knows there's only a minute or so remaining. Well, for the first time in a long time on a Sunday afternoon, we're not talking about the extreme heat.
Come inside.
Gorgeous day for football. You wouldn't mind running around in this, would you, Archie?
Oh, not these days, I'll tell you what.
Not doing any running anymore.
No, this is fantastic conditions for football, and it's only going to ease. The weather's only going to cool more the second half. It certainly helps the players.
Yeah, really bright and energetic thus far on this afternoon of the round 12 match. Forward by O'Brien. Comes back to her again, O'Brien. Good aerial ping pong between the sides. And that Isabella Libri says is enough for the first half. Oh, great work from both sides. Plenty of solid defending and a couple of chances either way, but it was Chinatsu Kira that got on the end of a shot that ended up in the back of the net, and the first goal in the W League for the Japanese international. And that means here at Kingston Heath, it is Melbourne City 1, Newcastle Jets 0. It'll be interesting to hear perhaps after the break what those halftime talks have held. Certainly more encouraging from Melbourne City after their 4-0 loss during the week. Newcastle Jets, of course, coming off a 4-0 win, just their second of the season. And, well, let's hear what Alex Chidiak has to say. She's down on the sideline. Alex, congratulations on being 1-0 up at the halftime break, and that must be something you feel is well-deserved after a lot of hard work.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been coming all season. We definitely deserve to be up at halftime, and hopefully we can get some more goals in the second half.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a challenge. How hard was it to lift after that loss during the week?
Well, it's difficult, but I think the positive thing is we have another game today, so we can just kind of push that aside and push through to today, and yeah, it's working for us at the moment.
Alex, thank you very much. We'll let you go and recover, and look forward to seeing you out in the second half. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Alex Chidiac back in the City side after a stint with Atletico Madrid. She'll go and join her Melbourne City teammates who are up at 1-0 at the break. We're too off for a short break. Join us afterwards as Archie Thompson and I wrap up all the first half action here at Kingston Heath.
A wonderful round of rugby league coming your way again.
There's so much on the line here.
You'll end up bruised in your lounge chair at home tonight. Oh, what about that?
Both genuine contenders.
Oh! David Bafita up against his old club.
Every moment counts, boys. Let's go.
Oh, this is going to be good. They can't stop him! That is sensational!
Oh, another Monday. A whole week to do.
Gotta get up and see it through.
But what if it's different? Shine a light on the day.
Turn Mondays into fun days.
Come, sing it, sir. It's here come Mondays. Now Mondays aren't so bleak.
I compare the market. There's prizes every week.
It's mere come Mondays.
Putting Mondays on the map.
Just compare the market.
And please download the
app. Simples.
app.
Sprite. Release the lemon lime refreshment.
There are those out there who value their homes a little differently. At Macquarie, we call them good borrowers. They understand a home loan helps them progress in life and doesn't stop them from living it. If you look at your home in the same way, we'd like to welcome you into ours. So you can say, I bank with Macquarie, the home of good borrowers.
Athlete's foot playing on your mind? Fight the fungi with Caniston once daily. The no mess, no touch applicator helps to prevent cross-infection and makes it easy to kick athlete's foot. Try Caniston once daily athlete's foot cream.
Your dad wants me to download a playlist.
Nothing's fine until I'm all out of faith. You and me, darling. This is how I feel.
Australia, your country needs you. To take a holiday. It's time to see incredible stuff.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing, right? Okay.
You sure you know what you're doing?
Honey, I've got the hat. Do stuff you've never done before. Like order one of these.
You order those all the time.
Because the holiday here this year is just what Australia needs. Oh, stop. I'm doing the line.
I'll go grab the Northerns.
I'll get away.
No need to fight, boys.
Great Northern Brewing Co. is giving away BCF vouchers in every specially marked case. With a voucher in every case, who wouldn't want to buy the beers? Go in store and get yours today.
Oh, another Monday. A whole week to do.
Gotta get up and see it through.
But what if it's different? Shine a light on the day.
Turn Mondays into fun days.
Come, sing it, sir. It's here come Mondays. Now Mondays aren't so bleak.
I compare the market. There's prizes every week.
It's mere come Mondays.
Putting Mondays on the map.
Just compare the market.
And please download the
app. Simples.
app.
Well, back here at Kingston Heath, it is half-time and it is the home side, Melbourne City, that lead by a goal to nil. Archie Thompson enjoyed the first half with me, and Archie, it was actually quite entertaining, and for City, a really decent recovery to form.
Yeah, well, it's about the way they responded from obviously Thursday night. Oh, was it Tuesday, Thursday night? I don't know. There's been so much football, but look, I think their response has been fantastic, and the way that they go forward. I think the inclusion of Dobson, she just adds a little bit of something different. She makes smart runs. She uses her pace, and Chidiac's starting to get more involved. I like the way when she actually turns forward and plays football. And Kira finally gets the monkey off her back. She scores a goal. Unfortunately, no, it's probably a little bit too late in the season, but for her, just builds her confidence for the last few games.
Yeah, we're just looking at the build-up to this Chinatsu Kira goal, and she had an opportunity in exactly that position a number of times. This time she's buried it, and from our angle it wasn't immediately clear, but look at that celebration. It's the first goal in 9 appearances.
Yeah, well, it is a bit windy out here, and Tumith did so well to put that ball in the box. I know that the goalkeeper probably just misjudged the flight of the ball and the speed of the ball, but Kira was there. She almost had to lunge at it and a bit of a back heel, but as a striker you don't care how they go, and especially when you haven't scored a goal all season, and now it's how they come out this second half.
Yeah, well, in contrast, it was Newcastle coming off a 4-0 win against Perth as they came into this game. Now, it's not that they've had any sort of decline in performance, and they'd be disappointed that this goal was disallowed.
Well, it was beautiful lead-up play to this. It was a wonderful ball in from Allen, and I think it was Tara Andrews that actually got ahead to it. But for me, it was the build-up play and the finish. Okay, it was offside, but if you're creating those opportunities, that's the important thing. I mean, if you're playing 45 minutes, I know that they only had half chances. They're going to go against the wind, so that certainly will help their speed out wide. Because I have seen over the last few matches for them, especially against Perth, they had a lot of joy out wide, and that's where they started a lot of their attacks. So they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. It's just about keeping possession of the ball, looking for dangerous players. I know Policina had a wonderful shot from about 30 yards out, used the wind, but they just need to keep doing more of that.
They sure, and you spoke about their pace, but also we see here for Melbourne City, some of their chances have come from that space they've got on the near side, and particularly with TJ Vlanic flying down that wing. Yeah,
Vlanic probably need to see a little bit higher, but when she does inject herself into that space, there is a lot of danger, and like I said, Chidiac gets half turns. If she doesn't turn back out and she goes forward, that's when she's exciting, and that's when you can start to bring in the quality of Kira, make smart runs. Dobson's making smart runs. I know she hasn't played much football over the last few weeks, but you can immediately see the impact that she's had in the team. And look, they've been really solid at the back. They haven't let too much of Newcastle Jets attacks go forward. So, yeah, well done, City.
Well, then we have a look at some of the chances for the Newcastle Jets, and you might think they feel they deserved a little bit more out of that half, perhaps even a goal.
Yeah, well, look, City need to still be wary of the quality that Newcastle Jets have. Policina, we talked about the impact she's having. She's starting to score goals, so she's someone that's obviously dangerous for Newcastle. And Andrews, I mean, she's probably having one of her better seasons. I think she's only a couple of goals off, her best for a season. So she's always dangerous, and she just adds that bit of presence. So if you can get ball into those dangerous areas and get delivery, she's always so potent in them areas.
Yeah, good to see Gemma Simon, the captain, back in as well, of course, out for that spell with concussion. She's made a difference at the back, and equally on the other side in the back line, Jenna McCormick has been as good as she usually is, but a bit of a concern when she went down here.
Well, look, she's a soldier because I've seen her put herself in these sort of positions so many times, and she gets herself up, dusts herself off, and then keeps continuing. For me, if I'd probably been in that position, called triple O. But look, she's fantastic. She has that presence. She's a leader, and I actually felt that Naomi Chinnaman is actually having probably one of her better games. Yeah. I feel like that the more games she plays, she's only young. She's starting to get a bit more confidence the way she's stroking the ball, and it's about having that leadership, and she's certainly working well.
Yeah, we can't wait to see what they do in the second half. That's coming up after this short break. Stay with us. Second half from Kingston Heath up next.
I just used my Ryobi drill.
I found something wrong. I smoothed it down.
Upcycle bookcase made by OnePlus Holly. Make your long weekend home essentials kit $169, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Ryobi.
Hi, it's these, thanks.
Good choice. That'd be $52.99, thanks.
Thanks.
Repco. It starts with the parts.
Introducing Echelon Connect, a fitness bike that lets you take live or on-demand fitness classes right from your own home. It's a global connected fitness phenomenon. You'll ride with some of the most experienced, most energetic, most inspiring professional cycling instructors in the business. There's hundreds of classes a month. And with Echelon Connect, you can compete with the online community or simply with yourself, all without leaving your home. Go online to order your Echelon Connect bike and join the Echelon community today.
There are those out there who value their homes a little differently. At Macquarie, we call them good borrowers. They understand a home loan helps them progress in life and doesn't stop them from living it. If you look at your home in the same way, we'd like to welcome you into ours. So you can say, I bank with Macquarie, the home of good borrowers.
Australia, your country needs you. To take a holiday, it's time to see incredible stuff.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing, right?
Okay. You sure you know what you're doing?
Honey, I've got the hat. Do stuff you've never done before. Like, order one of these.
You order those all the time.
What? Because the holiday here this year is just what Australia needs. Oh, stop! I'm doing the line.
Those years on tour were crazy. I reckon I spent more time on the road than I ever did at home. So it's nice to finally spend some time in it. If you're like me and driving less these days, Apia's comprehensive car insurance rewards you with a drive less, pay less discount on your premiums.
Get a quote today. Call Apia on 13 50 50.
Rule the outdoors with the Makita range of LXT brushless chainsaws. No petrol, less noise. Makita Power. Now with the new 5-year limited warranty. Makita, when power means business.